So here's PCS, or Pro Capture Systems, also made by JASK. I don't remember a damn thing about this program, except that the installer is as basic as it gets. It asks where you want it to install. That's fine. We'll hit OK. And now it says, would you like to add professional capture systems to your program manager? Yes. Your option is there. You can put it elsewhere, but that's where you would want it. Hit OK, and that's it. It's been installed. Done. And we'll run app install again. Oh, got to spell it right. And that's going to come up with PKWare. Yes, you need that under Windows XP because it cannot extract zip files natively. So we hit extract, hit yes. There's WinZip and other shit like that. Authentic files verified. Hit OK, installation complete. Close that. And yet another Windows 3.1 program. Oh, great. Please go to the control panel to install and configure system components. Derp? Maybe because it's trying to... I guess the S key doesn't work too well on this keyboard for some reason. Let's see if it comes up with that error again. Yeah, so maybe the program is actually trying to launch. I don't know, but eventually I'll get that installed. Alright, we'll come back to that one. Next on the chopping block is PaintShop Pro. Version 6, version 7, and version 8. I don't use 7 much, but I do use 6 and I do use 8. And I know they're ancient programs, but I like them. And they work. And they're good. And each one of these installs and then has like an update or a service pack or something that installs on top of it. And updates it to like 6.03 or whatever the friggin' version was or some crap like that. I don't remember. Okay, that's done. Do you want to view the README? No, I do not. So we hit no, and let's go back to the batch file, see if anything's happening. Not yet. So it's doing something, maybe. That's also rather interesting that I just noticed if I zoom back out. Oh, something happened now. Okay, now it's going to launch, yeah, 6.02, and I'll show you the interesting thing in a second. We'll hit, why, look who's there. Okay, so PrintShop Deluxe, again, an old program from Windows 3.1 days. We'll hit continue. And this takes up the full screen because that's what Windows 3.1 applications did. The interesting thing, while we're waiting, is oddly enough, the battery light is flashing again now. I take out the E because I had an older version that was not the Ensemble, and I'd like to keep it that way. The Ensemble just added crap, so we'll hit continue. It gives you an error and says, create new directory? Yeah. And look at the old, anybody remember the old Windows 3.1 like installer thing like that? Where it would say low and show your hard drive and your memory and disk transfer file by file would go there, and eventually this will probably go ahead and do stuff. I'm wondering if the reason why it's kind of acting up and going really slow is because it's transferring like the port up folder that it's been transferring forever now. There are some files that are like 300 megabytes, and when that data transfer starts, it's like the system will come to a complete halt until that file has been written to the flash drive. And if you try to access other stuff on there, the bandwidth on USB 1 just is not there. This particular program takes a while to install because it's got like a million, billion, zillion, itty-bitty little tiny files. So it takes forever. But while we're waiting, let me just go to Control Panel and see what the battery says. There. Power options. And power meter says charging 99%. So why did it lose power? That's odd, because it's definitely plugged in. Never have seen that before. This is still sitting here. Maybe we'll try continue again. Anyway, I'll come back when something happens. Well, here we go with some more sort of multitasking. It is installing in the background the Print Shop Deluxe Ensemble. In the foreground, it's going to install Paint Shop Pro 7. And here is the data transfer, which is reading 57 minutes, 64 minutes. What else? Let's see. We'll hit next and get this doing some disk access, and we'll see what it goes up to. Yeah, go ahead and install. 74 minutes, 57, 53. Before it was up to like 114. We only have 1.75 gig more to go. So it'll do it. It just takes fucking forever. Transferring like a 600 megabyte file to a flat. Oh man. Oh, that just. And writing, of course, is a lot slower than reading. But yes, things are installing. That's going. That's doing its thing. Back here, that's installing. You can see each file by file process, or progress rather. It's all working. That's finishing up. There we go. When it decides that, there we are. Show me important information. No thanks. We'll hit finish your spinach. And that is now going to launch the update for that to, I think, 7.04 version or something, somewhere. So we could take a peek at that. It's launching it. Oh, here it is. There we go. We'll hit accept. We'll hit next. We'll hit next. This gives an error somewhere in the midst of it, and I think, and you just ignore it and it works. I don't know why it does that, it just does. And this also runs under Windows 7, although you do have to launch it as an administrator for the first time, otherwise it gives an error for some reason. So, Paint Shop Pro 7 update is almost installed. It says it's got 5 seconds remaining. There's the error. The file msvcp60.dll is in use. You just hit ignore and it works anyway. Do you want to read about what's new? Nope. Hit next. This is now launching Paint Shop Pro 8, which does take a while to install. This is still going. There we are. Oh, the big exe file. Look how slow the data transfer is. Ooh, and that's probably like, I don't know, 100 kilobytes, maybe. All of these programs really don't use a lot of disk space at all. So I just keep them around. Just on the off chance I might need them or want to run them or something. They're there and they're installed, and that's that. So this is up, and that has to extract some files to the hard drive. So while that's going, we can take a look at our data transfer. 70 minutes, 82 minutes, 100 minutes, back down to 82, 90, you know, so Windows can never make its mind up, but we'll let this keep running. Yeah, QuickTime is dead, so we'll cancel that. I think coming up is another Windows 3.1 program. Oh, not yet. Real Player. I don't use that anymore either. Pretty much anything else can play that, and it's not a big deal. You can always convert this stuff, so I have to wait for that to go. But check this out. We have 479 megabytes to go, and a bunch of little files, which is increasingly getting smaller and smaller as time goes on, but there is one that you can't see anymore because Real Player is no longer supported on this version of Windows. Great! That's what I wanted. But there is one that's 324 megabytes, and that's going to be a while to transfer. Yeah. Yep, there's another 3.1 program. So, wonderful. We're ready. It finally loaded. Just takes friggin' forever on these Windows 3.1 things. I don't know why. So that's installed. That's good. We'll hit finish. And RAM. Yeah. Oh, and look what's done. All of that right there is done. So the data transfer is complete. Only about 5 or 6 more applications to go. So we'll save that. Close that, close that. Back to the root. And now we're going to install an old version of VLC Player because it works, and it works very well. It works very well. So that's what we're going to install. I still use this program daily. Version 1.0.5. I know there's much newer versions, but this one works great for what I need. Very, very, very rarely crashes. And, oh, we got to uncheck a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. And no audio files for video. Blech. Yeah, I think I could just have all of them. That's fine. Other, that's fine. I can have those, and the rest is good. So we'll hit next, install, and let that go to town. And that's done. We're not going to run it now. The original .NET framework 1.1. Kind of legacy for a couple applications, so let me just let this go. Winamp, because it really does whip the llama's ass. Still use this practically daily. So we'll let that install. I gotta figure all this crap out. Okay, and for Winamp I choose the modern skin. We'll hit next. Everything in here is good. Oh look, and a Windows 3.1 program which launched in a reasonable amount of time. This is WordPerfect 6.1 for Windows 3.1. And I keep this program around because of these conversion drivers, which will do all these ancient deprecated formats. And even if you had a scroll wheel on a mouse, it doesn't let you use it in here because that didn't exist in the Windows 3.1 days. But Professional Write, which I still have files in, this can read them, and then that can save it as a .doc file, which then Microsoft Word can open. So that's kind of fancy. So that's kind of why I keep this one around. So you just have to check all these off manually. There's no good way to do this. And that, and hit OK, and hit OK, and hit Start Installation. And now that is running. And we'll switch back to Winamp. And I think everything here is good. We'll hit Next. We'll hit Finish. And Winamp is going to save its files and launch and tell us how it whips the llama's ass, as it always did. In fact, we could skip that because it doesn't need to whatever. You see these Windows 3.1 programs just install very quickly because they're very small comparative to programs today. So there's that. That's initializing. Here's Winamp.
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
We'll hit OK on that. And I got to clean all of that up. And now this is done installing. Do you want to view the README? No. OK. The command line, don't worry about. It's all just garbage, extra fluff. Your question might be, why don't I just update that for the latest? Because I just never get around to doing crap like that. So we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. And then it had that album thing. We got to get rid of that. And then I get rid of that. And then we widen that out a little bit more till we get the beat thing. Turn that on. Set that where I like. Whoops. Oh crap, I broke it. There. And I open the config. I set the volume all the way up and change some other settings around and change that to countdown. All kinds of great stuff. Another thing I do is disable all of this startup crap. Adobe, Dymo Label Service, Winamp, CTFmon, and I leave Sticky Note and Catnip running. This I wanted to reinstall because I don't know if it actually took, so we'll try that again. While that's running, we'll go here and hide Microsoft services and get rid of both of these because we don't need those. Hit OK and exit without restart. Let that do its thing. I have one or two other little pieces I'm going to try to install, see if they still work under Windows XP. But that's it for the entire series from totally dead to totally working. This ancient Dell Inspiron 5000 Pentium 3 laptop. All possible by Lexmarks567 for sending IDE hard drives. I love that kind. So this has been a project that's been on the back burner for a long time. Like I said, probably in the first part of this video, I did a video that featured this laptop, more or less in a cameo appearance, printing over a telephone line to a thermal fax machine. And I want to revisit that and kind of do like an updated video of that, because I think that would be fun. I haven't done it really actually since then. So that would be interesting to A, see if that machine still works, and B, that I can actually still do it. I think I remember what I did. And then there's also another surprise, because I have yet another fax machine I want to try it with. And I'll show you some of the other things. See, now it installed, because there's the icon there. But like I said, I have some other surprises. I want to show you what else you can still do with a Pentium 3 laptop. We've already discussed the multitasking a couple of times. Everything is there. I can yank the flash drive because I'm done with that. It's warm even. So that's all done, and that is going to wrap up this series. This laptop will appear one more time in that video. And regarding that other fax machine, I believe I've actually recorded that already, but I don't know when it's going to be released in relation to this. Probably well before. But we'll figure it out as we go. So thank you very much for watching this long series on another reloading an ancient computer with an ancient operating system, because old computers are never obsolete. Make sure you smash that like and smash that subscribe button. Thanks once again for watching. And take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.